Hey, what's up everybody? It's Luke and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Thanks for checking out the channel once again. I appreciate it. And today, it's Friday, so Friday Night Magic was today. I was at the store, Davis Cards and Games in Davis, California, near Sacramento. And we had our pre-release for Edge of Eternities. It was pre-release, so we got pre-release kits, built decks, and you know, I really came into this pre-release blind. I didn't really have any idea what the archetypes for the decks were or what was good. I was just going to open up the pre-release kit and try to build the best deck that I could from the cards that were inside. So I did that. I'm going to share that deck with you in just a moment. I'll also share with you what I got in these little prize packs that I got today. So we'll open those up at the end of the video, and hopefully we'll get something good. But really interesting format. I'll be talking about it as I go through the deck that I built. I ended up going with black, green, and blue. At first I was trying to just go Golgari, which is black and green, but I had to put the blue in there after kind of mulling over and thinking about the cards a little bit. Overall, I went 1-1, and I skipped out on the third game because it was getting late, honestly. It's really cool what Davis Cards and Games does. You know, there's the deck building portion, and then there's round one. And I got finished with round one really quickly. My deck did really well. I totally blew away my opponent 2-0, and the deck was just really doing its thing. And then there's sort of this intermission where there's like this sort of quiz game thing where they give out prizes. And then the next round, well, I played the next round, and the games went really fast again, but except this time I was on the losing end. And so I was 0-2 for that round. So overall, I was 1-1, best out of 3. But there was 30 minutes. I'd have to wait for 30 minutes. It's getting close to like 9:30. I was like, I don't know if I play a third round, I'm going to be out of here like 10:30, which was a bit late for me. So I decided 1-1 was good. I got a taste of the format, and I'll be back to play in another pre-release on Sunday and a two-headed giant on Monday. So I figured I'll have plenty of time to kind of check out this set with those as well. So without wasting any more time, let's turn the camera around and check out the deck that I built. Okay, so before we actually go into the deck, we're going to check out some of the cards that I got in the pre-release kit that didn't go in the deck. First of all, we have Deafening Silence in sort of this special old-school sci-fi treatment. These are the special guests. These look really cool to me. I really love the way these look and the design of them. We got Memnon the Right Hand, another card that I ended up not using. 2 Warmaker Gunships, and Terminal Velocity. So those were the cards I elected not to use out of the rares. Okay, so let's check out the deck. So, Divert Disaster. This is a counterspell, and you can counterspell unless they pay 2. So, late game, you know, a lot of times they'll have enough mana. But the nice thing is there's a buyout, because if they do pay, then at least you get a land or token. So you get something for your troubles, even if it doesn't sort of pay off, which I think is kind of neat. Insatiable Skittermaw. This has Menace and Void. So if something left the battlefield, which I'm thinking you can like make lander tokens leave the battlefield, then this thing gets +1/+1 and a turn. Hulk Carver, just a death touch 1/1 artifact creature. Biosynthetic Burst. I didn't have a lot of interaction like removal or anything like that, so I had to rely on sort of things like this combat trick, which in my first round worked really well. This gives a +1/+1 counter to a creature, then it gains reach, trample, and indestructible till end of turn and untap it. So this actually is not bad. Like, you can attack, that thing can't die, and then it's like giving it vigilance, so it's pretty sweet. And a lot of the cards that I had in my deck today had 1/1 counter synergies. So here's the code Transmissions. I wish I got a chance to use this card. I didn't, but you get to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. But if Void happened during the turn, then the opponents lose 2 life instead, which is pretty sweet. Annul. I decided to put Annul in the deck it seems really limited for a counter spell because it only counters artifacts or enchantments, but there's a lot of artifacts in this. And some of the enchantments, especially the rare ones, are really strong. In fact, I did annul a really strong enchantment today. Felt really nice to be able to do that. And then later he's like, yeah, I drew 6 cards off that enchantment that you annulled in the previous round, so I was glad I did that. Galactic Wayfarer. This guy makes a lander token when he comes in. So I thought my fixing was going to be pretty good because I had 3 colors. I thought a lot of my cards make lander tokens, but against a faster deck, I kind of got ran over. So I don't know if they're going to be fast enough or if the fast decks are just going to take over. So I hope they don't. Sammy's Curiosity. You gain 2 life, make a lander token. Diplomatic Relations. This is a card that has an error on it. This says target creature gets +1/+0. It should say target creature you control gets +1/+0, gains vigilance, and then it deals its power. It's like a punch spell. Seed Ship Impact. Again, this is destroy target artifact or enchantment, and then you can make a lander token if the value is 2 or less. Lots of lander token stuff here. Blooming Stinger. This is a 2/2 Death Toucher, which can grant other things Death Touch when it comes in. Ice Cave Crasher, 4/4 Trampler, can get +1/+0 when you have landfall. Biomechan Engineer. This gets a lander token right when it comes in, and I did use this 8 mana ability, which was cool, to create a 2/2 robot artifact creature token and draw 2 cards. 8 mana is a lot, but in that first round, I was able to do that quite easily. Gene Pollinator. I'm not sure. I wanted to see if this would work. I mean, you have to tap an untap permanent. You control them, add 1 mana of any color. I don't know. I thought this would be more fixing. It wasn't that great, so I'm not sure. Maybe it is good. We'll have to play with it a little bit more to see. And then whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you get to draw a card. So again, I was trying to get some +1/+1 counter synergies going on here. Seed Ship Agrarian. Whenever this thing gets tapped, you make, you guessed it, a lander token. And the cool thing is landfall makes this thing get a +1/+1 token as well, or counter. Atmospheric Greenhouse. This was a spacecraft, and I was a little bit intimidated by the spacecraft's cost in order to what is it called? To station. Because you got to tap things down, but it turned out I was able to, get this thing going really, really quickly the next turn. So, pretty good. And again, when the spacecraft enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. I mean, I had my whole board with +1/+1 counters, and that was great. Here's a really expensive one: Glacier Goodmaw, Trample. When this creature enters, it kind of looks like a spacecraft to me, but I guess it's not. I guess this is the big creature, and there's a spacecraft coming out of it, like in Star Wars. It makes a lander token, and then whenever a land control enters, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance till the end of turn. So this is pretty scary end game card. Bioengineered Future. Here's one of those good enchantments I was talking about. So when this comes in, you guessed it, lander token. And then for each creature you control that enters with additional +1/+1 counter whenever you have a land come in. So if you have a land come in first, then you can play a creature. That creature gets a +1/+1 token. Genemorph Imago. Flying, 1/3. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn. And if you already have 6 or more lands, it's 6/6. I wanted to try this. This thing actually never got into my hand, unfortunately. Then we got Zoo Ephit, Osteoharmonist. You tap this, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. No abilities. Activate only as a sorcery. So that's pretty nuts. You can bring back, some giant creatures. Again, no abilities, but pretty cool. And this was probably the craziest card, Uroboroid. If your opponent sees this, they got to kill this right away. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, so not just this one. But if it was just this, it becomes a 2/4 on that first turn, and then on the next turn, it's going to get 2 more, so it's going to be a 4/7. And then it just got ridiculous after that. One of my opponents didn't have any sort of answer for it, and they just had a tough time with it. So this thing can really snowball out of control if unchecked. So there we have it, 1-1 today with this deck at pre-release. Since I won one game, they gave me one pack, and then I also was able to win a promo, so that was cool. I'm gonna widen it out just a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna check out what's in this Edge of Eternities play booster, and then the promo pack: Biosynthetic Burst, Melded Moxite, Comet Crawler, Sinister Cryologist, Auxiliary Boosters, Diplomatic Relations, Mechanozoa, Thawbringer, Seed Ship Impact, Virulent Silencer, Weftstalker Ardent, and here is a mythic, Weft Walking. What does that do? When this enchantment enters, if you cast it, shuffle your hand and the graveyard into your library, then draw 7. The first spell each player casts during each of their turns may be cast without paying its mana cost. Wow. Each player. This is a really interesting card. It costs 6. But you get to refresh your hand, and maybe they don't have much. This is pretty crazy. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that right now. And the Leander token with the Soldier. Okay, let's check out the promo pack. Interesting mythic in that particular pack. And our promo is the Memorial Vault. Sacrifice another artifact. Exile the top X cards of your library, where X is 1 plus the mana value of the sacrificed artifact. You may play those cards this turn. Okay, interesting. I don't think it's the best. I got a Null, which I was talking good about earlier, and a Questing Druid. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you had fun at pre-releases. I'm going to have a couple more, and looking forward to those in the next few days. I'll see you then.